Back for a shot of Business Central. We got a long runway here, topics today, all newsworthy and informative. First, like usual, we like to start it off with the current release update. So version 20.5. You should be up and running if you're on Business Central Online on version 20.5. Has some platform hotfixes, application hotfixes, and several localization hotfixes like usual. I did scroll through these 26 application hotfixes, and what kind of caught my eye is that there's some fixes in there that are kind of some standard type things that people should be aware of. So like in this latest release, for example, if you use the account schedule overview page, there were some issues with dimension filtering, which is probably something that people use a lot. Also, dimensions in the analysis views were not updating if you use the dimension correction function. So they just released that function not too long ago to correct dimension entries and GL entries. But I guess the analysis views weren't being updated to reflect those changes.
Gotcha.
Also, attachments weren't visible on the jobs list page. So if you're using jobs, and you could also create jobs for blocked customers. So some pretty general type things that were found and corrected.
I'm surprised more people didn't notice that. I mean,
Right.
I didn't hear too much about it until the updates came out.
Yep. So, just to kind of stress the importance of doing these updates, that you think that they're just minor updates, it's a monthly update. It could very well have a fix that's going to resolve an issue that you've been experiencing.
I would say a lot of the updates actually are pretty impactful, right? Maybe not the ones so much, closer to the major releases, which is why this one is so surprising with these impactful application fixes.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have pretty meaningful, fixes and updates and whatnot, and even feature releases.
Yep. So what do you know about 2022 Wave 2?
So what do I know about 2022 Wave 2? I know that, well, first of all, there's going to be a Business Central launch event that Microsoft is going to put on. It's going to be from October 10th through the 12th. It's virtual, and it is a virtual event for everybody to be able to see the new features and functionality. Microsoft's going to go through it all. We'll put a link for that in the show notes. Other than that, I know it's still scheduled. Nothing has changed. So starting October, you're going to start seeing the rollout.
Yep. I did check a verified, right? It's almost the 1st of October here, right? Early October. You can go into the admin center in Business Central, create a new sandbox if you want to preview some of the new version 21. It is 21.0. If you want to check some of those new features out.
Now, what if I wanted to take my production environment that's currently running? I know you can take a production environment and copy it to a sandbox environment. Can I copy my production environment to an updated version 2021 sandbox environment?
You cannot. Not today, not before 2022 Wave 2 is officially released. Gotcha. So, and this was maybe a little confusing for people because, to your point, yes, you can copy. There's a copy button where you can copy your production environment to a sandbox.
So if my production environment is 20.5, it copies to 20.5 sandbox.
Yes. Right. Okay. And or there's also a new feature where you can create a new sandbox and you can select which version you want. So you could select the preview version 21.
Yeah.
But it's going to come with just the demo data and without all of your extensions and apps and everything in there.
Not the customer's data.
Right. So how do you combine those two things together? Right. Because
can you?
You can't. You can. However, there's a catch. So prior to the official release of the new version 21, let's say in this case, you cannot do this. However, here's what you could do. What you could do is you could go in and schedule your production environment to be upgraded to version 21 out in the future, as far out as you can go.
Okay.
And that will prevent your current production environment from getting upgraded right away. Or when you don't want it to yet. Then wait for version 21 to start getting deployed out into BC Online. Now that it's deployed, copy your production environment to a sandbox. So now you've got an identical copy of your production environment in sandbox. And now schedule the upgrade of your sandbox immediately. And now that version 21's out, the sandbox will be upgraded. And now you've got your data, your extensions and apps in the new preview version in the sandbox so that you can test it.
It's a great workaround.
Yeah. You just have to be careful, right? And in the date, right? The dates, and make sure you remember to, don't schedule your production environment upgrades so that, you don't come in one day and whoop, all of a sudden Microsoft has updated your production environment.
Right. Yeah. So schedule that out a few weeks
as far out as you can at the time.
So you have time to update your sandbox.
Because then if and whenever you are ready for your production environment to get updated, you verified everything. Okay, now just go change your update schedule on your production environment, and then it'll get updated as soon as you're ready, right? Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a great workaround. Master Ken is back at it.
Oh yeah, devious. Yeah.
Speaking of devious and diabolical and all those good things,
Microsoft?
No, Ken, you recently attended Dynamics Con.
I did.
Yep. Do you have a little update on it? I know you presented with Mr. Ben Baxter.
I do. Yeah, I do have an update. Yeah, this was September 14th through the 16th. It was the Dynamic User Group Dynamics Con conference. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right stuff here. Yeah, it was in San Antonio. Overall, very nice conference. Right. Had a good time. I would say, if everyone wants to know, like, how many people were there? I don't have the exact number. I'm going to say like 500 or 600 people, right, give or take 100 on each side. I don't know, but it felt good, right? It was.
It felt more like a community, right?
Yeah, it did. It felt like a good conference. It was a little bit different than previous user conferences. How they organized it was they had one session for BC scheduled during each time slot.
All in the same room?
Same room. So you had the same group. And I kind of liked that. It was like the people were kind of in the same area. You got to get comfortable. You were able to interact with those same people and get to know them really well because you were all kind of hanging out for a couple days. Yeah. Right. Get to learn and have a lot more better discussions with other users than you might normally when everyone's scattering around.
Right. So you're saying there wasn't multiple Business Central sessions going on at once, right?
Correct.
They were just back to back to back in the same room.
Right.
So that's pretty nice.
So I really liked that
time
feel.
In between sessions. Sorry.
How much time was between sessions? Like 10 minutes.
Oh, good. Yeah,
not much. Enough time to
once you're scrambling to
go grab some coffee, whatever, get a snack, come back in, leave all your stuff there. Yeah. Right. Nice. You could get camped out, a little bit, and again have some really good discussions over a couple of days with some other users and really meaningful, I think, topics. So that was kind of really cool. I also really like they had two very nice evening receptions. So 5 to 7 each day, outdoors, really nice outdoor space at the conference center, live music, some heavy apps and cocktails and drinks and stuff, open bar. Just a really nice, just a nice atmosphere, beautiful weather. We got, really hot and humid.
Yeah,
San Antonio.
Course, What are sessions from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Or some start later? About
probably more like 8 to maybe 4:30.
Gotcha.
And then these receptions from 5 to 7 each day. It's pretty kind of cool. Although I couldn't, this was the second live Dynamics Con Live annual conference. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to next year, which is actually in May 23rd to the 25th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Gotcha. I believe going forward, the conference is going to the Dynamics Con conference is going to be continued to be in May going forward, because there also is the Dynamics Community Summit
Yeah.
from the Dynamic Community Group, which is going to be coming up here very soon,
Generally.
October 14th through the 18th in Orlando.
Yeah, and they're generally in fall
Right,
that
October-ish,
usually-
right. So,
No,
you know,
it makes sense because otherwise they're too close together.
different conference, but you got, you know, both two different user conferences. Seems like, you know, some
Same,
different flavors, similar, you know, both beneficial, but little bit different flavors out of those two.
same idea though. I mean, I think whether they have some people from Microsoft presenting at Dynamics Con or anything like that.
You know, not too much, not too many Microsoft. But the speakers that were there were good. I think, my opinion, all great, good, very good, great speakers. Like the content session was very good.
How was your session?
So mine went well. Yeah, we talked about jobs in manufacturing and looking at the whole content of the conference for BC. You know, ours was one of the only ones that focused on exclusively jobs in manufacturing. So we had an opportunity also at the end to like open it up. What other questions do you have on jobs in manufacturing?
Oh,
And,
I bet there was a lot.
and, you know, the first person, you know, that we called on said, I'm glad you just said that because my question has nothing to do about what you guys just talked about. Right. So, but I think the users, people that attended got a lot out of it.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't, my last thing is you know, this wouldn't be a shot of Business Central and a beer if I didn't mention the delicious beer that I had while I was there.
Oh, really?
So while I was down there, I got the brewery was called Freetail. It's a local San Antonio brewery, and it was called Sold Out IPA.
Sold out, like
Sold,
like
like
a soul of the country.
SOUL
Nice.
SOUL
Yeah.
DOUBT. Sold out.
Really?
Sold out. Get it?
It's interesting. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I wonder what's behind the naming of it though.
IPA, I don't know, it's just clever, right? They can't keep it in stock, I guess. It's sold out. But it was excellent. I gotta make sure to give a shout out to Freetail here while, you know, down in San Antonio enjoying a solid beer, local craft brew.
You putting it up there with the zombie dust and the
So,
juicy.
It would be, like my typical like 94.
Really?
No.
Like, wow.
It was though. No, it was very good. I'm not gonna rate it, but it was very good.
I'm gonna read it.
It's hot and humid out and I was outside
Oh,
and I
it
just, it
cold?
just went,
oh,
went
yeah, you
down,
gotta have a cold.
went down really nice. While I'm at it, I just want to highlight, so the conference, it was very, very good. A couple other conferences that are coming up, I just want to mention. So Dynamics Con also has a virtual full day, March 15th of 2023. And then also November 9th through the 11th this year is the Directions EMEA conference, which is in Hamburg, Germany. From what I understand, I talked to a few people that are going to be attending that. They said, you know, usually it's a pretty decent sized crowd, maybe like usually around 2,000 people.
Really?
There. Yeah. So this is kind of a partner event.
Yeah.
They said they usually get a pretty good turnout. You know, we'll see what this year holds. We're coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So hopefully it is a good turnout. But yeah, lots of good events. And then a couple more things on the Dynamics. If anyone's going to the summit in Orlando, just a little bit of some details here, or if you're considering going, right? There's going to be, just for BC/NAV, right? 180 to 200 sessions.
Really?
And these are the 7 major categories of topics. They have the ABCs of BC, meaning like entry level stuff,
Yeah.
administration, development and architecture, finance, manufacturing, moving to BC. So if you're considering upgrading, and then supply chain. It's about $1,500 per attendee for the conference. You can get 1-day passes, even half-day passes or expo only passes, as well as a streaming pass plus on demand.
A streaming pass
So,
plus on demand.
Yeah, so if you
wow.
cannot
So they're
physically
actually-
go to Orlando, you can get a streaming pass. They're going to be streaming sessions. I don't know exact which ones or all of them. And on-demand content after the conference. You can go watch the sessions. What's the price of that, Michael?
All right, so obviously it's risen in popularity. They need the infrastructure. $950.
$99.
$99?
$99. Yeah.
That's
Right?
pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So that makes it worth checking out, right? Especially if you
Wow.
can watch the sessions on demand after the conference. Because I know that what happens if you attend a virtual conference, you go to work and you sit down and you start doing 100 other things, and it's 4:30 and you realize you haven't even watched 30
Mhm.
minutes of the conference sessions. I mean, at least that's how it goes for me.
Still
So
$99.
yeah, and I'll
Good
tell you
God.
what, right? So there is an alert. I went on the website. If in case most people are probably aware, but in case you're not, right? Hurricane Ian just blew through Florida, caused a lot of damage. So there is a message. I'll just read it here. I'm not sure. Maybe by the time we drop this episode, things will have changed. But right now it says, all of us at Dynamic Communities are closely monitoring Hurricane Ian as we hope for the best from anyone in harm's way. We're reacting in compliance with all local and state requirements as we stay in daily contact with the Gaylord Palms for the event. While the hurricane will pass prior to Community Summit opening its doors, we will continue to update the community on any issues or concerns that would impact us all. So
Nice. Did it say what city the summit's in?
Orlando.
Oh, Orlando?
Mhm.
Okay, so in the middle
Yep.
of the middle of Florida.
Yeah. So, yeah, so definitely, stay in touch, check the status. Hopefully things will be fine by the 14th, but just, you never know.
I gotta give, kudos to the people who run this with the $99 virtual ticket or whatnot.
You're
I mean,
stuck on that, huh?
well, I've been thinking for years that I don't understand why a lot of them don't have a virtual option as it is. I mean, it's not that hard to do anymore, right? But $99 and it looks like it might even pay off a lot with the hurricane and whatnot, if they can't get a lot of people down there.
Yeah, they may be able to draw in a lot of people with that, right?
Yeah.
That I wouldn't otherwise have even considered going. But if I can learn some stuff at that price point.
Yeah, because it's geared a lot towards customers in the first place. So
Yeah.
for $99 a user.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty
it's a lot of user conference news there, huh? Jammed in.
always a good thing. Well, only thing I got left on my list, and I think you have it on yours, is the very popular subject nowadays, the granular delegated admin privileges, otherwise known as GDAP.
Oh yeah, very popular. Everyone's
very
buzzing
popular.
about it.
Yeah.
It's trending on Twitter.
Trending on Twitter, yep. Upwards and upwards.
So what do you want to take the honor, or would
Yeah.
you like me to? What the heck are you talking about? Granular delegated administrative privileges.
Yeah, well, currently partners can only choose between like having access to all of a customer's cloud information or none of their cloud information. It's, you get delegated admin privileges, so you either see it all or you see none of it.
There's like a global admin checkbox, right? And if
Right.
you have to be a global admin to administer Business Central for a customer, but that then also means that you can see
You
other,
can go into everything else they have.
other non-Dynamics type
Right.
products and things.
So the premise behind this is actually a pretty good idea. What Microsoft is doing is they're introducing granulated administrative privileges. So if you're just their Business Central partner for the customer, you might get something called the Dynamics 365 admin role, to where you can only deal with the
Right.
customer's Business Central solution. You can't go into their Azure or their Dynamics 365 sales or Office or whatever it may be.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's all well and good, right?
Yeah. Seems like a good idea, right?
Yeah.
That gives people better control on what they can or can't administer and change and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But and I don't want to say in typical Microsoft fashion, but I kind of do.
You
Instead
just
of,
did.
right, instead of adding to what they call what it was, the
DAP, delegated admin privileges.
DAP, thank you. Instead of just adding these new privileges to the DAP, Microsoft wants partners to migrate all customers, well, allegedly migrate all customers from the DAP to the GDAP, and they have to assign privileges to each and every customer. When, in my opinion, what they should do is, if you've got delegated admin privileges on the DAP, fine. If you have customers that don't allow you to have delegated admin privileges, talk to them, see if you can just get a Dynamics 365 admin privilege or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and add it to that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
But let's say you do this and you go through it, and once you go through that change, then once you do it once, you're done. And now you have that granular delegated admin privilege for D365. You're forever, you're good?
Of course not,
No,
right? It's only good for, I think, 2 years is
up
what they
to
said.
2 years.
Up to 2 years. And I mean, let's be honest too, after 3-4 months, Microsoft might say, we're holding off on it. Don't worry about it for a while.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But
I read through the Q&A, like FAQs, right? Frequently asked
Yeah.
questions about it. And I saw a little bit of contradictory things. They said that the old delegated administrative plan is going away and being completely replaced with this new granular plan,
Right.
which makes you believe that you're going to have to transition every customer, right, to this.
Absolutely.
But then in another FAQ down below, it says that this is only something that you're going to need to do if you want to assign granular
Right.
level permissions, which is a big difference, because I totally get that.
Huge
Like
difference.
if we only have granular privileges for 10% or 5% of our customers, then we only have to deal with those.
Yes.
But to deal with every single
Oh,
customer
it
account.
takes time.
So I think that, the public service announcement PSA here for everyone is in October or beyond, maybe who knows when, if your partner has difficulty connecting to a customer environment, or if you're a partner and you have difficulty now seeing or connecting to that customer, it's very well likely that it's because of this admin privileges transition, or whatever
Right.
they're calling it.
So make sure you know who your Office 365 global admin is, because they're probably going to have to be the one to accept the granular permission offered by the partner. It's just, there's so many changes going on lately. It's just going to be another hassle. I like the second option you said, where it just only applies to the 5 or 10% that haven't given the partner delegated admin privileges.
Right.
And if you only had to sign them granular, great. Right.
Yep.
That's what it should be for. But if you got to go through it all, what John, he was a pretty good comedian, John Panette, who actually passed away like 5-6 years ago. And he would always say when something like this, he'd say, nay, nay, I don't like it. Nay, nay. So.
Nay, nay. Yeah, I got a couple other things here. So first of all, as of September 30th, 2022, the old Microsoft Partner Competency Program, according to Microsoft, officially ends. So your gold certifications and silver certifications go away, and they're being replaced by a new partner badge program where you can earn badges in one of 6 categories.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what, 6 categories. So, and that kicks off like October 1st or October 2nd or whatever. And partners now have a whole bunch of different hoops to jump through to become a certified partner.
Yeah.
So, this isn't, again, is it really going away? When is it going away? Or when is it changing?
Yeah.
Let's see how this rolls out. But as soon as October 2nd, if you're a partner, you can go into your CSP, look under membership, and see how many points you've earned to see if you qualify for one of these badges at this point.
And from what it sort of looks like, though, is that if you're a Microsoft Gold or Silver partner or whatnot, only anywhere from 5 to maybe 20% of those partners are going to qualify as a,
with one of these
with
badges.
one of the, on the
Yeah.
new system. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
Business Central is officially currently listed as included under the modern work
right.
classification, not the business applications classification.
Right.
So tell me if that
Makes no
makes
sense.
sense.
No,
I don't know.
not at all. I'll tell you no.
Okay, thank you.
But so yeah, like you said, in the next, over the next year, it's gonna be interesting to see when partners start having to or when their whatever it's called is up, their gold level status or silver
Mhm.
levels, whenever it's up, it's gonna be interesting to see when partners, you know, what they do, if they complain about it or whatnot, when they can't make
Yeah.
or get one of these badges. So
Okay, I have just a couple more notes, and this is just more on, I had, like, just over the recent news I've seen out there, talked to a couple of people at the Dynamics Con conference. You may have noticed, or maybe you don't notice, I don't know, like I know you're busy, right? You got things to do, but
are you talking to me or people listening?
everyone, yeah. There's been a lot of partner consolidation recently. If you, right?
A
A
lot.
lot of partners are acquiring other partners, right? Absorbing them. I think a lot of this has to do with a lot of the Microsoft stuff and raising the bar and having people jump through more hoops to maintain status
The only
and
way you're gonna be able to do it
margins
then.
and benefits. So yeah, we're all, we're dealing with it. We've been on the right side of the fence every time so far, and we plan to continue to be. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of partners getting purchased by other partners.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
Well,
equity, lot of money out
Yeah.
there available for people to invest in and grow their partners. And maybe some
mean-
people want to sell
yeah.
and move
In
on.
theory, right? This seems to cater towards larger partners, in my opinion, and we tend to fall in that category. So, are
Yeah.
we going to benefit from it? I guess because we'll make a
Yeah.
badge or whatever. But for most people, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I
it's
mean,
kind of wrong.
yeah, it's mainly larger partners acquiring smaller partners for the most part. Adding resources to their teams and and adding some efficiencies
Yeah.
by having a larger organization. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell how that works out. And kind of related to that, I guess, is that Avalara, right? Sales tax, Avatax product. They have been acquired by Vista Equity Partners
Right.
for $8 billion. So Avalara was a publicly traded company. Vista Equity Partners purchased it, and now it's a private company.
Yeah.
So I did have a couple conversations with people, and for the most part, what it seems like is that Avalara is going to continue to focus on sales tax, grow their customer base and their product offerings, right? It's not like they got purchased by another sales tax provider,
Right.
and they're going to merge those products or anything like that. This is a strategic play by a private equity company to try to develop the company and grow the company to much more.
And I think for the private equity company that purchased Avalara, this is going to make up 20% of their portfolio. So
it's a large,
big purchase for the equity company. So they'd be crazy to just nix it or whatever, do whatever with it.
Yeah, $8 billion. That's a lot of coin.
Just chump change the sum.
So yeah. Right. But I think we've exhausted ourselves here on the shot segment. Tell me that wasn't the best right there, huh?
Yeah,
Right?
especially for the month before a major release.
Right? Woo!
Pretty good.
We're rolling, and we're going to continue rolling in our next and final segment, our lighthearted look at our
lightheaded.
lightheaded.
Yeah. We'll be rolling literally.
I think it is a lightheaded view of our beer rankings. So stay tuned for a bunch of malarkey coming up next.